Picture this, okay? You're Dexter, a serial killer who's numb to any emotion of the world. You vaguely understand but don't resonate. The only warmth your soul acknowledges is the blood of your victims as you jab through their chest over and over and over again. Like some sick fucking spider webbing its victims and savoring every moment. An artful dodger, a criminal mastermind. No, a murderer. That's what you are. But you were brought up by Harry Morgan, a man who saw something beneath that sadistic veil. A man who taught you a code: kill only to save another. And so you follow. But at what cost? One with a twisted moral compass such as yours will find himself paralyzed to move in every step of the way between what's right and what's attainable. You kill in the name of saving lives, yet you enjoy every second of it. It's what makes you you. So, who are you? What defines you? What defines your soul? We all like to think we know who we are, but the more you dig, the blurrier the lines get. Are you born with a certain essence, a certain spark, a color only you radiate? Are you destined to shape and match into your gradient, irrespective of all incoming earthly damage? Or is your identity crafted by everything that happens to you, molding you into something no one can predict, not even yourself? Now, I like to believe that most of my audience aren't serial killers, so let's pick a more relatable analogy. Imagine this. You're a clay sculpture. Your genes are the raw block of clay, straight from earth and full of potential. However, as you age, you experience life. Parents, toxic households, society, teachers, forgotten birthdays, deaths, and endless many endeavors, shaping you from the block of clay you were into something recognizable. So you ask yourself, is this sculpture you because of the hands that molded it, or is it you because of what was there in the clay all along? Nature gives you the potential, however, it's nurture that carves you into the person. But are we just the sum of everything that's ever happened to us, playing out our roles based on the influences beyond our control? What choice do we have? No, the question was never if there's a choice in the matter. It's about how you make it. The world's definitely out of your control, yes, but the way you respond to it isn't. You have your own will. You make your own choice. That is your prerogative, your privilege. No one can steal that. So, how do you make that choice? Do you trust your gut, your intuition, or do you deduce the world using logic, your intellect? We like to think we're quite rational beings, but how often do we ignore logic for something that feels right? How often do you think about your bank account before spending it all on your lover? Is it just the real us acting on our instincts, or is it our intellect trying to fit us into a mold, trying to make us something we should be rather than what we are? Maybe the truth is that we're not two separate things at all. Our gut and our mind are just two sides of the same coin, pulling us in different directions. And at the end of the day, maybe the right decision isn't about logic or gut feeling. Maybe it's about accepting that both are trying to answer the same question. What makes you, you? Your gut feeling is the genetic embodiment of every single experience you've ever had. Your own inland empire that knows what is right for you. While your head is there to protect you, to reel you back in when you get ahead of yourself. Maybe it's not how you use one or the other to make your choice, but both in their own ways asking you, what do you want? We'll always drive this wagon with you, but we're only a part of you. For you are the observer, and we are the advisor. Hey guys, sorry for interrupting, but if you're liking our content so far, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're kinda new here and any kind of support just means a lot. Anyway, back to the video. What are you? What is the individual? How is it possible that in a world of billions, bombarded with the same information, same advertisements, same news, same damn Twitter feeds about the same dumb shit, yet each of us interpret it differently from one another? One dumbass likes pineapple on his pizza, the other gags at the thought, and the third likes to deep fry his. How do all of us form our own unique opinions on things, even when we experience the same exact thing, consume the same piece of information? If it's just our memories, upbringing, our environment that shapes us, how is it possible that two people with similar experiences can be so fundamentally different from each other? Yet again, this begs the same conclusion. Doesn't matter if the world nurtures us with what it sees fit, or Mother Earth herself decides to curse us with two missing limbs. It's our will, our birthright, what we are supposed to be. We choose what we wish to accept. So, in short, your opinion is what makes you, and your will is what you are. But then, what is your will? What is your soul? It's the paradox of being a human. We're both fragile and infinite. A soul is not a fixed thing. It's dynamic, always in motion. But here's the mystery. What makes you, you, isn't just the sum of all the forces influencing you. It's the friction between them. It's the way your instincts clash with your intellect. The way your experiences color your choices. The way you navigate between all the tension. The way you make sense of all that noise to carve out something distinct. Something you. We're not machines following a preset blueprint or algorithm. We're actors in our own story, deciding what we take in and what we reject, how we interpret, how we grow, and how we change. And yet, as complex as we are, the choices we make are often tied to something simple and primal: the drive to become. That's what makes humans so uniquely complex. We don't just exist, we're constantly making ourselves. We are becoming, always in motion, always evolving. But the real question isn't just what makes a soul, it's why do we as humans experience it this way? Why are we capable of this depth, this complexity? Why us? Why humans? Perhaps because, unlike any other creature, we possess the ability to question ourselves, to reflect on who we are, and in doing so, we awaken something deeply unique: the awareness of our own becoming, something that no other animal can accomplish to our extent. And that awareness, that little friction between what we are and what we could be, is us moving, trying to find the next step in the chaos. But what happens when our time has come? What happens when the unique colors glimmering within all of us finally dim to its sorrowful grayscale gradient? If the soul is truly an ongoing process, then perhaps in death It is not extinguished, but integrated. All the experiences, choices, and the evolution that has shaped us are woven into the fabric of existence in a way we may not fully understand. It's like a book closing. Each chapter has shaped the story, and though the pages stop turning, the story still lingers in the minds of those who've read it. Maybe the end of a soul's journey is not a single moment of peace, but a moment of transcendence. So, when the time comes to rest, it might be the soul's final release. Not into oblivion, but into a quiet, unspoken serenity with everything. The tension of becoming stops, and what's left is simply being in a way that we can't fully comprehend in life. And that, in itself, might be the most profound rest the soul can find. Alright, I'd like to end this video in the most cheesiest way possible, and that is, drum rolls please, with a poem. Okay. For real, bear with me for a second. It's gonna be worth it, okay? Promise. This one's called Self-Agency. We love the ones that hurt us, hurt the ones who love us. We think we know who we are, but we don't. We feel we know what we want, but we don't. This shitty duality will be our end. This triple dimensionality isn't something to mend. You will not find peace, not under shallow labels for content. Keep trying. You might understand before you're deceased. Now, before all of you start making fun of my handwriting, I kind of want to explain this, so let's get into it. I feel as though whenever life presents us with choices, there's always an internal conflict inside us between the versions of who we think we are versus what we actually are. You think you know who you are, but you don't. You think you know what you want, but you don't. You commit to action A thinking it would rejoice you, and by all logic, yeah, it seems true, but when you commit, you regret. You feel uneasy, unhappy, thinking action B would have sufficed better. But the truth is, it's just not that simple. We are not that simple. We're three-dimensional creatures. We are as complex as we can be. And those of us who choose to ignore this, who choose to live in ignorance, afraid of themselves, will never find bliss hiding under one-dimensional labels of a religion, a singular belief, a singular profession, or a singular quality, when all of us are as paradoxical as we can be. In the end, it's always a battle of figuring out who we are and what we really want. And I think that's what I've come to love the most, and respect the most as well. The ones who are constantly and welcomingly fighting these internal conflicts within themselves. The ones who aren't afraid of uncovering themselves. The ones who are eager to understand what and who they are. The ones who try to understand themselves, even when they're losing direction. Because in my eyes, that is the most honorary trait a human could ever have. Trying. That is all any of us can really do. Try. And maybe, just maybe, if we're lucky, we'll understand what we are, who we are, and why we are, before we no longer are, before we're deceased. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.